I am not a fan of commercials. What an original opinion, right? Who doesn't hate bright colors being shoved in their face, annoying overacted segments, and scenarios that would never actually happen in the real world? They interrupt my football games, my podcasts, and even this very YouTube video that I am making. And what makes them worse is their chokehold on the entertainment industry. I hate that I don't have much of a choice on how I monetize my content. Commercials, as annoying as they are necessary for entertainment to sustain itself. But this video isn't just about any commercial, nor is it just about any annoying song. This video is about a company and their story, and more specifically, how they've made their way to the top, through annoying you. So, before we get started, I just have one question for you. What comes to your mind when I say,
Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper, Flame Grill taste with perfect toppers, I rule this day.
If you're a person on the go, write down this number. It's the key to traveling quick. It's Casino Taxi's number, 4296666. Casino Taxi.
Hidden away in Venice, California, lies Beacon Street Studios. Founded in 2001 by Andrew Feltenstein and John Now, they set out on a mission to change the relationship between musicians and ad agencies. With dedication to their craft, Andrew and John found some of the best musicians in LA to come be a part of their team. And now over 20 years later, their team feels the advertisement fires of Gatorade, Microsoft, Pepsi, Toyota, and Burger King, to name a few. If you have turned on a TV in the last decade, it most likely was interrupted by a musical jingle from this team. They have helped many of the top companies in the US reach out to an audience in an incredibly efficient way. And we all hate them for it.
Today's date is,
ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
You know, the NFL is a funny place.
that may be the greatest catch I've ever seen.
It has a chokehold on Americans, including myself, and is one of the most profitable entertainment companies in the world. We watch our favorite teams put us on mountaintops and break our hearts, but there's always been a constant through it all. Commercials. Last Christmas, I watched my Broncos get blown out 14-51 by a backup quarterback. It was a terrible Christmas present. But it wasn't the game that I remember most. It was that goddamn Whopper commercial that played after every stalled drive.
Second pick of the game for Kobe Durant. He started it off, didn't he, earlier in the game with a big interception? And he finished.
Unfortunately, this wasn't the worst example of that commercial and the NFL. If you're a fan of this stupid sports league, there are two unfortunately intertwined constants you've heard. During a Monday night football game between the Cincinnati Bengals and Buffalo Bills on January 2nd, Bills safety Damar Hamlin went into cardiac arrest following a tackle. Thankfully, he was resuscitated on the field and taken to a local hospital to make a full recovery. The name Damar Hamlin is one constant in the NFL. The Whopper commercial is the other.
And that is Damar Hamlin. A big piece of this defense for Sean McDermott. Back after this.
Whopper, 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 Whopper.
Is out on the field right now. Several players are down on their knees. Other players are holding hands, praying. You can just see the worried looks on their faces.
Whopper, Whopper, Junior, nigga king who's on the budget. 3 tasty options, fries, drink, and nuggets.
The Whopper commercial has reached an advertisement threshold that most companies can only dream of. The meme threshold. It sparked controversy with Damar Hamlin, has gotten millions of views on YouTube, and has haunted every single one of us for the last 2 years. The amount of times I've wanted to throw something through my television screen because of this advertisement is incredible. And I'll be honest, this was the commercial this entire video was going to be about. Its out-of-tune vocals, stupidly simple lyrics, and abhorrent pacing created a perfect storm of annoyance. How could anyone actually greenlight this jingle? I had to see who was responsible for this. What studio could possibly produce something so vile that the entire internet collectively hates it? Well, one in Venice, look no further than our friends, Beacon Street Studios.
Where's my taxi? Where's my taxi?
If you're late for an important date, don't hesitate. Call Old City Taxi at 338-0838.
This is an odd little fellow. Who is he? Where is he going? He doesn't seem like you and me. That's because he's not like you and me. He plays the saxophone in a jazz band.
But let's say football isn't really your thing. Well, I hope Christmas is your thing, because Beacon Street Studios has done their best to ruin caroling with the most annoying Verizon commercial I've ever heard, and that's saying a lot.
For your husband, iPhone 15 Pro.
Carolers, to tell me you want a new iPhone? A better plan's Verizon.
No way they take this wreck.
Yes, they will, and you'll get iPhone 15 Pro and Apple TV 4K and Apple One, all three on them.
Do that.
The idea of taking something oriented around bringing Christmas cheer and happiness, slapping a Verizon logo on it, and making the chorus sing out a tune about 5G really just grinds my gears. And this isn't to say they're the only company doing this, nor are all of their commercials that bad. But it bothers me that they can take beloved pieces of culture and just completely ruin them. And God, they do it so efficiently. These people somehow figured out how to ruin Take Me Out to the Ball Game, a song that is supposed to be slightly annoying and satisfying all at the same time. Damn, okay, that is beautiful. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of that. He's just like me for real, man. He's just like me.
Don't be shy about getting your hands.
Okay, this is off to a good start. This isn't that bad. I don't see how they're ruining it.
Take me out to the ball game.
Take me out to the couch.
Why are they so out of tune?
Baseball or football or racquetball.
Nobody says that.
We don't mind, we'll watch
No, please stop. Okay, okay, she's good. She's good. Okay, we're back on track. You know what? They sound fine.
I care.
What?
Cause sports.
What are you doing? Get that. No, what the fuck? Oh, God. And from all this listening, there was a trend that I was starting to notice. Recently, this studio has been deliberately choosing their musicians to sing out of tune, an effect that grabs your ear because it just sounds that bad. Let me show you an example.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
See how this jingle is in tune, has melodic depth, and a sense of harmonic flow. It's recognizable, and to be honest, it is a little bit nice to listen to. From the research I've done for this video, I found tons of commercials that, albeit annoying for different reasons, were at least nice to listen to. But ever since that Whopper commercial aired, things have been changing. The companies, investors, and the studio all saw what this was capable of. And they never looked back. I raise my hand up into the cold city air. The lights of the skyscrapers have blocked out the stars above, and brake lights illuminate the street in front of me. A commercial plays on the building across the way, its vibrant facade silhouetting my breath. A big yellow taxi screeches to stop in front of me. I swing its big yellow door open, and on the seat in front of me lies a big, yellow tinted screen. It's playing a commercial, and I slam the door trying not to pay attention. But how could I ignore something this annoying? As you listen to this video, there is one word that I really want you to latch onto. Irony. It's something that defines everything in our lives, from the small-time YouTuber making fun of advertisements with ads on his video, to the big man up top making the shots. Every piece of entertainment is saturated with irony, and we have no choice but to accept it. Because at the end of the day, everyone's gotta make money.
Cabs are very clean, the drivers are very courteous.
Maybe it's good for them, but it ain't good for me. I'm a regular working person.
For the first time in a long time, it'll cost more to take a yellow cab.
The general message of my songs, I guess, is just happiness. Most of them have happy endings, and I don't write protesty things. If they protest at all, it's very subtle, and they're sort of, the message comes out like don't do this or try not to be that way, but it's still through happiness, so that it doesn't stand up there and sort of preach at people.
Joni Mitchell is a Canadian-American singer born in 1943 and caught their time for fame in the 1960s folk music circuit. She played music in a way that captured audiences around the world, her vocal delivery capturing the core folk music sound effortlessly. You've most certainly heard her music before, and if you haven't, you have to go check her out. One of Mitchell's biggest contributions, like many musicians of her time, was towards environmental and social justice. She inspired musicians such as Bob Dylan and Prince, had her works performed by artists like Johnny Cash and Judy Collins, and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1997. Through her works such as Both Sides Now and A Case of You, Mitchell found emotions with her lyrics that many could relate to. And these were some of her most well-known songs. But there is another song that stands out to me among the rest. One I didn't even know belonged to her. The song Big Yellow Taxi is intertwined by two constants. One is the destruction of natural beauty to make way for production and profit. The other is an abrupt end to love with no explanation. As the song progresses, these themes end up crossing paths through a literal vehicle, the Big Yellow Taxi. Quote, they paved paradise, put up a parking lot, with a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hotspot. These opening lyrics show us the destruction of paradise, with storytelling that is clear and to the point. And as this unnatural scene is built before us, our post-confirmational thoughts are given to us on a silver platter. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? It's a chorus that is extremely recognizable and one that will long outlive any of us. Those thoughts aren't unique to put into song, but they do hold a relevancy that all of us can relate to. The song goes on to tell the story of how the trees were put in a museum, monetized for profit, while we plead for the farmers to stop putting chemicals in our food and killing the birds and bees. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? At this point, it feels like as a listener, we know exactly what this song is going to be about. Companies are bad, and environmental destruction is bad, and paving paradise is bad, and And then we find out paradise isn't the only thing being taken from us. Beacon Street Studios calls themselves an artistic sanctuary where the independent spirit of folk movement has morphed into a modern creative compound. Their history has humble beginnings, and they certainly are changing the future of advertisement music. At first glance, it's a sentence that establishes ethos and pleases innovation. So let me show you this sentence before it. Hidden away in Venice, California, occupying a space that once belonged to Joni Mitchell, sits Beacon Street Studios. And it's in this sentence where I find myself citing my own essay. Oh, the irony. It's a shame to say that the studio's using, quote, the independent spirit of the folk movement to justify their artistic expression. Here are some motifs of the American folk music revival: civil rights, peace, political activism, individualism, self-love, and unity. It was a movement grounded in the beliefs that every person mattered to push against the companies and governments that were taking advantage of them. So tell me, how is a company creating painfully annoying advertisements using Joni Mitchell and the folk movement as inspiration? It's more than ironic, more than annoying, and more than one commercial. It's an unwieldy creative force that embraces disruption. Joni Mitchell is a musician that helped define the folk revival movement while simultaneously innovating her sound. Her improvisational ability and feel made her music run against the industry standard, and she wholeheartedly accepted it. She often didn't choose a straight melody with satisfying conclusions, instead forcing her audience to listen to music many would define as difficult. Quote, "My music is not designed to grab instantly. It's designed to wear for a lifetime, to hold up like a fine cloth." Mitchell never created music designed for commercial success. She simply spoke what was on her mind, following a formula that was true to her and her only. Since 2011, Mitchell has been focusing on visual art and taken a step back from performing live music due to health complications and conflict of interest. She just recently performed live for the first time in 9 years with Brandi Carlile in 2022 and performed this year at Gorge Amphitheater. And at the age of 80, Joni Mitchell is still creating beautiful art and standing up for what she believes. I admit, I lied to you at the beginning of this video. I never planned for this essay to entirely be about Beacon Street Studios, nor for it to primarily focus on their annoying strategy. You can see examples of that for yourself anywhere you go on the internet. Instead, this was a video about irony, and the irony of a company burying its head in the sand to avoid a musician that has sung about anti-commercialism for decades. From how it looks, this studio is going to be utilizing their strategy more and more in the future to disrupt the advertisement industry. So every time you hear another terrible Verizon jingle or Whopper ad, I want you to think about Joni Mitchell instead. I want you to think about the desperate tactics companies are using to get your attention, and I want you to think about the way commercials used to be. Because don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? Sorry, I gotta run now. My taxi's here.
Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? You pay paradise, put in the parking lot. They took all the trees and they put them in a tree museum, and they charge the people that don't really have just to see you.